Hello students, welcome to this second session on Dr. Homi K.Bhabha's article Cultural Diversity and Cultural Differences. In the previous session, we had tried to get a brief introduction with the concept of post-colonialism, post-colonial literary criticism, along with Dr. Bhabha's contribution in the field of post-colonial literary criticism. Students, Dr. Homi K.Bhabha is a leading voice in post-colonial studies. He was greatly influenced by Western post-structuralists like Derrida, Lacan, and Foucault. And in the previous session, we had just briefly discussed that Bhabha is known for his special contribution in the field of post-colonial studies with the concepts like cultural difference, hybridity, mimicry, ambivalence, and third space. Students, the extract which is prescribed in your syllabus, that is cultural diversity and cultural differences, is an extract from Bhabha's article The Commitment to Theory, which was first published in the 5th issue of the journal New Formations in 1988. In this extract, Bhabha's chief concern or his emphasis is on the need to re-evaluate the way we look at the identity of culture in post-colonial world. And he just begins or opens his discussion with the distinction between cultural diversity and cultural difference with reference to culture in the post-colonial world. So today in this session, our special focus will be only in these two terms, cultural diversity and cultural difference, how they have been explained in the very first part of this extract. Students, in this article, Bhabha maps out the need for a dual understanding of post-colonialism as part of necessary rethinking of culture in the West. And according to Bhabha, post-colonialism should be concerned with the drive for cultural difference rather than diversity. Dr. Bhabha observes that the revision of history of critical theory rests on notion of cultural difference, not cultural diversity. So why is it so? He explains cultural diversity and cultural difference in detail in the very opening paragraph of this article. According to Bhabha, cultural diversity is an epistemological object because he looks at culture as an object of empirical knowledge, as an object of knowledge based on experience. And he also talks about diversity in terms of a category of comparative ethics, aesthetics, and ethnology. According to Bhabha, cultural diversity is also explained as the recognition of pre-given cultural contents and customs which are held in a time frame of relativism. Means all cultures are related with each other in some or the other form, and there are some pre-given contents and symbols for every culture. And this very concept of existing in a time frame of relativism, this concept gives rise to the liberal notions of multiculturalism and cultural exchange. And Bhabha has termed these notions, liberal notions, as anodyne. Students, anodyne means something which soothes the stress, something which works as a pain reliever. So why he's talking about these notions as anodyne? Because just to soothe the stress of associated with colonialism, just to relieve the tension associated with colonialism, or the relationship between colonized and colonizers' culture. So this culture diversity is explained as a concept which gives rise to anodyne. It is also the representation of a radical rhetoric of the separation of totalized cultures that live untainted by the intertextuality of their historical locations. And Bhabha associates with this culture diversity, or he explains this culture diversity as a unique collective identity. But at the same time, he finds or he observes that this unique collective identity doesn't live in the exact memory. It lies in the mythic memory, and that mythic memory lies safe in a state of utopia. And he observes that cultural diversity may even emerge as a system of the articulation and exchange of cultural signs in certain imperialist accounts of anthropology. So, in this way, Bhabha looks at cultural diversity as an epistemological object, as a category of comparative ethics and aesthetics, and moreover, as the recognition of pre-given cultural symbols which held in time frame of relativism. But on the other hand, cultural difference is explained in terms of a process of enunciation of culture as knowledgeable, authoritative, and adequate to the construction of system of cultural identification. It is also explained as the process of signification through which the statements of culture or on culture, they differentiate, they discriminate, and authorize the production of the fields of force, reference, applicability, and capacity. Bhabha uses this concept of cultural difference to draw attention to the common ground and the lost territory of contemporary critical debates, because he feels that contemporary critical debates, they recognize that the problem of the cultural emerges only at the significatory boundaries of cultures, where meanings and values are misread or signs are misappropriated. So thus, looking at the misreading or misappropriation of the meanings and values, Bhabha talks about that how enunciation of cultural difference disrupts the concept of time. And he says that at the level of cultural representation and its authoritative address, the enunciation of cultural difference disrupts the division of past and present. Because any attempt to signify the present involves relocating, repeating, reconfiguring the past and the tradition. And at the same time, this is also true that pastness is not necessarily a faithful sign of historical memory. So what happens? The restatement of pastness of present and the present of the past drives we people away from the origin of the struggle. And this very moving away or driving us away from the basic concept of culture destabilizes our sense of homogenizing effects of cultural symbols and icons, because it questions our sense of the authority of cultural synthesis in general. So, pointing towards the lost territory where meanings and values are misread and cultural signs are misappropriated, Bhabha emphasizes the need to rethink the traditional notions of cultural identity, and he refers to French Fanon's idea of a zone of occult instability where people dwell that we must come. And this very enunciation of cultural difference demands that we must rethink our perspective. And because cultures are never unitary in themselves, and Bhabha observes that culture they are neither simply dualistic nor oppositional in terms of the self and the other. And so the idea of culture as a process of constant struggle suggests that a possible critique of positive aesthetic and political values we ascribe to the unity or totality of cultures, especially those that have known long and tyrannical histories of domination and misrecognition. So, Bhabha is to say that this very misreading or misappropriation of the meaning or the cultural symbols can be better understood if we just locate them in a zone of occult instability, if we locate them in a third space, in a place of ambivalence. So in our next session, next video, we will have a discussion about that, what Bhabha says about the third space, what Bhabha says about the concept of hybridity and ambivalence, and how this cultural difference or this enunciation of cultural difference can be better understood in that third space. So we will discuss in detail about third space in next session. Thank you.